Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Marketers podcast. I'm Adam Lopez.
And I'm Steph Kaufman.
We are joined today by a very good friend of mine, an incredible individual, Mr. Johan Brandt. Without further ado, we'll let Johan tell you a bit about himself. We're going right into this. We got some guests cooking. This is our first guest ever. So, Johan, feel free to let the folks know a little bit.
It's an exciting time.
That's right.
Thanks, buddy. I'm so happy to be your first guest ever. So my name is Johan. I'm a 40-year-old guy living in Sweden, in Gothenburg. It's quite cold here right now, in like the day before Christmas Eve. In Sweden we celebrate Christmas on the Eve and not on Christmas Day. So we're having big celebrations tomorrow. Looking forward to that. But I'm super excited to be here and joining you.
So Johan, Johan is in the branding and marketing world. Tell us a bit about your experience with this. How'd you get started in branding and marketing? What kind of bit you with the bug? Give us a little backstory on yourself.
Yeah, I did an internship back in 2007, I think it was, at a big marketing agency, and this was in my first semester. So I actually got offered a job. So I jumped out of school and just kicked off working. Stayed there for 7 years, I think.
Wow. Okay.
And then I went to school next to my job, so I did it at the same time. So I stayed there for 7 years. The last year I was in our London office, heading up one of our biggest clients globally. And then I wanted to go back to school again. So that's when I met you, Adam, in the States. So that was how I got started. And after that gig, I became CEO of a brand and design agency. Or actually, before that, I was CEO for 3 years for a startup. So I actually went to the startup world and ran a B2B SaaS company for 3 years, which was a lot of fun. It was good to have experience from marketing, but after 3 years, I felt like I wanted to come back to the sort of the world of marketing, right? So I joined a brand and design agency as CEO, and I stayed there for 3 years, 2 years, a bit more, before joining the company where I'm at now. And I've been here for 5 years. So more than 15 years in marketing, and still love it. Some days hate it, but most days I love it.
It's always a love-hate relationship. It really is. It's like we're gluttons for punishment. I feel like I always say that to Adam. That was some really great background, Johan. So it sounds like you have a really diverse amount of experience. Can you tell us a little bit about, I guess, that transition going from being, purely in that marketing space to being a B2B SaaS founder, and like where you found synchronicities where marketing was effective, and just kind of dive into that a little bit. I'm curious.
Yeah, I think I joined that company like a year too early. So it was very early on. They just received seed funding, and the investors wanted an external CEO. And I joined, and I realized that sort of we don't really have a product yet. So I just talked to a lot of clients, and we reiterated the product a lot. But then when we were there to actually start selling it and promoting it, then my experiences was more useful. But the first year, I would say it was not my cup of tea. But it was different. It was going from helping like big clients to running a small company is very different. So as a startup CEO, you're doing everything, right? From coffee to cleaning the office to doing content.
Right, you're the marketer. You're in finance. You're in administrative, HR, everything.
For sure. But the company, I mean, I left now. What is it? 8 years ago, and the company is still around. They're doing great.
Nice.
So I'm very happy for them.
Awesome. So it sounds like the work that you put in, it's nice to see, maybe even if it didn't feel like it kind of at the time, right? Because they didn't have the product market fit, that it actually came to fruition. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you played no small role in that,
I don't know, but I'm very happy that they're doing well.
Right. Well. With that being said, now of all the marketing, in all the world, it's obviously a very vast situation. Like you mentioned, everything from strategy to content, and things like that. What's your favorite part about marketing, as well as your least favorite part about marketing?
I mean, So I've been in this space like for 15 years. I would say working with clients, I would say that the challenges that I talk to the clients about are more or less the same. The huge difference is the solutions, right? Because there are new channels, there are new whatever, and you really don't stop learning, and you have to continue learning in order to stay on top, right? And I think there are not that many fields where you actually have to grow and grow and grow in order to stay relevant, and also that you need to surround yourself with great people, right? Because there are so many aspects of it. You can't be great at everything. I'm not really great at anything, honestly. I listened to one of your previous shows. You talked about, doubling down on something, becoming great at something, and maybe be a generalist.
Mhm.
I'm a generalist, but I'm not really great at something, honestly. I do feel like I am a jack of all trades. I know that I'm good at managing clients and relationships, and I think maybe that's my strength. But in terms of marketing, I can talk with anyone about anything, but there are always, in any meeting, there are always people better than me at whatever we're talking about. So maybe that's the least great thing, but that's very personal. I'm not super good at anything, but I don't know. It's hard, right? Because I took the path of being a generalist, and now I'm sort of stuck with it. But I like it at the same time.
Well, I was going to ask too, to piggyback what you were saying before about the last episode. Any advice for folks just getting into marketing?
No, I mean, today, if I would enter today, I would for sure choose a niche, as you said, and really double down on it. And then when I became an expert, I would probably get other types of expertise in there as well, but not until then, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, right? Like, I totally agreed with Adam in that there's so many people that are in the marketing space to some respect. If you really want to differentiate yourself, having some sort of niche, right? I mean, that's the same thing that even with Adam and I, with Upbeat, with the agency, we keep having these ongoing conversations about truly finding our niche and really doubling down on that. Same thing goes with even if you're not starting up a marketing agency, but actually just an individual getting into marketing, like whatever you're good at, go as deep as you can into it instead of just spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so going into 2025 right now, which we're very quickly
Just about
approaching.
there.
Yeah, right, exactly. We'll be there in
Crazy.
in a cup of coffee. So, Johan, any trends you're seeing? Anything in Europe or stateside that you're seeing, kind of, with any big companies?
Yeah, so in my role now I'm heading up one of our offices, so the office in Gothenburg, as well as being chief growth officer for the Dentsu for the Swedish company, and I spend most of my days talking to clients. Right, if you're a big client, if you're a big advertiser or company today, in order to grow, you need to find more consumers, right? Or reach more consumers. And this is a problem, I think, because the way media is consumed today is we've never, as humans, consumed more media today than ever, right? Than in the past.
Yeah. And
But
then we wonder why we can't focus and our brain is so overloaded,
exactly.
right?
And we keep on adding channels, so it's hard. Even if we can reach people technically, it's hard to actually reach them. So what I talk a lot to clients about is reach overall, and the cost of reach. I see that being tougher and tougher for companies to achieve, because looking at the states, so I've been looking at NBA and the way sort of the cost of being involved in the NBA space today is quite ridiculous compared to the viewership, right?
Hmm.
The viewership decline has been quite dramatic in the past 30 years. There were two sort of peaks. Of course, during the Michael Jordan era, I think it was mainly around 95 to 98. And then we had a big peak again during LeBron in, I think, 2016 or 2017 or something. But besides that, we're seeing a huge decline. Today, companies are paying 3 to 4 times more to be involved in the space than in the past. So it's extremely expensive.
Wow. And that's versus like how long ago?
Yeah, like if you go back 15, 20 years ago, it's and the same goes with NFL or Super Bowl ads, right? The people viewing it is not necessarily more, but the cost
I see.
being there is extremely more expensive. And now you have other players coming into the field as well. You have Amazon going in there, and I don't know who actually broadcasts NBA mainly today. Is it NBC maybe?
Yeah, it's like I know TNT does a lot of it. NBC does some. Yeah.
But to them, you're just a basketball fan, right?
Right.
But to Amazon, you're a dog food buyer.
Right.
So they have so many other ways to actually benefit from going into the space compared to the regular broadcasters, because they are literally selling reach, while Amazon and the other players are able to sell niche groups and niche target audiences. So I think you will see more and more digital players coming into even the big sports arenas.
Right, because even there was that Netflix fight with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul or whatever that was a bit of a disaster. Netflix couldn't handle the bandwidth.
Oh, yeah. Before the fight even started, it was already
right.
Right. It was already glitching.
Right. So it's something where, like, Johan, to your point, you got a lot of these digital players coming to the mix and really just kind of taking those rights, and they have the big bucks to pay. I mean, I'm sure that obviously the studios do too, but they're trying to get their kind of lion's share of it if they're able to.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah. I mean, if you can, even if it costs a tremendous amount of money for them to be like purchasing like exclusive rights to a program, like say hypothetically, if they were buying the rights to like the Super Bowl or something, right? I mean, that's a ton of money, but like you said, Johan, then they can go and, they can really tailor these ads instead of it having be this one to all messaging that, I mean, people go over the top. They spend so much money even producing these ads for the Super Bowl, but does it truly resonate? I mean, it gets people talking, and the ads might be funny or kitschy, or, I know some people literally just watch the Super Bowl, sometimes myself included, just for the ads. But like you said, it's for everybody, but they're just hoping it just hits, even a small mark. So yeah, I could see why it would kind of go in that direction. It makes sense.
Yeah. So power in niches is something I strongly believe in. And when we ask our clients globally, around 85% of CMOs, they intend to either increase or maintain their investment in short form content. So, not the 30-second TV ads, but rather than like the Instagram reels or something like that. And also influencer marketing and live stream content is still like growing a lot. So that's quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, me and Steph are working with a client who wanted to do like a huge influencer marketing campaign, and we came up with the concept, Steph. We can say this, to go influencer marketing for this past client. And they were kind of like, it was something where they were kind of like they were against it and they were all about it. Like once they saw kind
and
of
then they just went all in.
Yeah,
that was like their entire marketing
right.
ad spend, which
yeah.
I mean that's something in of itself. But I mean, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that somebody just dump all of their budget into influencer marketing. But it certainly is helpful.
Made a huge impact.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it is now possible to find sizable and engaged communities of passions of almost any topic, right? No matter how specialized. So there is a considerable volume in niche interests and sort of deep fandoms. And I think with content creators across the spectrum valued for their opinions, like on all sorts of products and areas of life. So quality of content in these communities, sort of their independence, the time spent in building and following, give them purchase influence that can rival or even surpass brands and their own advertising and content. So I know this is huge already, but I think it will continue to rise, especially with larger advertisers as reach becomes harder and more expensive, etc. And also when consuming more and more media, not getting the attention from the media that you used to get, you need to find other ways to get that attention. I think like going into the sort of communities. Look at Google, for instance. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is your market. But didn't they secure a partnership with Reddit to bring like threads? Conversations.
Did they? That's actually, Adam, have you heard anything about that? Because I'm very curious now.
Some knowledge on us right now. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah.
I'm quite sure.
Oh,
And
when I type
Reddit
it in,
itself
it comes right up.
has recently introduced Reddit Pro, which is a suite of tools aiming to improve brands' organic presence on the platform by enabling marketers to better understand communities before connecting with their most engaged members. So I think this becomes more and more, call it professional, the way you manage it as a large advertiser.
So I think that's brilliant because one thing that I've realized I found myself doing that I know that other people have spoken about is when I want to get really trusted opinions, and I want to get them quickly, I will type in whatever my query is on Google and I'll end it with Reddit. So that way the Reddit threads come up. And and there have been studies done that like this has become so incredibly popular for people to do. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Like I'm shocked that this is the first I've heard of it because that's brilliant. It really is.
From a Swede, you heard it
It
from.
was, yeah,
What, you guys don't go on Reddit or Google?
yeah.
I do. I Google, but not Reddit that much. Honestly, it's not. It's not huge here.
It's definitely big in the States. Oh, I know larger brands will have like community managers and stuff that will go on there. You don't want to be marketing per se, right? You don't want to be advertising and you'll like really quickly get banned or downvoted if you do that. But just having authentic conversations and also like knowing when people are talking about your brand, that way they can kind of have a little bit more, I guess, control over the narrative or just provide guidance or help, kind of like the way they do on like, or at least they used to, I don't know if anymore, on Twitter. You know, people always go on Twitter to complain about brands and then tag them in it. Same type of thing, but on Reddit.
Johan, we appreciate you stopping by and hanging with us for a while.
Of
Anything else you want to close out with? Anything you want to say or shout out or?
I mean, if I can end with what I just spoken about, I think looking past the 2025 sort of space, I think brands will use creators, influencers, and communities in ways we haven't seen before or yet at least. I think new business models will appear to help reflect their true value with more understanding and measurement of long-term impact. I think there will be more personality-led brands as well that will emerge. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continue working in this space and hopefully continue supporting clients in their needs as well.
Awesome. I love it. Community, authenticity, all of that good stuff. I hope that that is the direction that brands continue to go in.
Yeah,
I really.
likewise.
Well, a giant thank you to Mr. Johan Brandt for stopping by and taking the time. Upbeat Growth, upbeatgrowth.com/podcast. Submit those questions. Steph, anything you want to add, of course, feel free.
Well, that's it, Johan. Really appreciate you coming by. We got some really great insights, and don't be a stranger. Would love to have you get on again, and would love to chat it up with you again. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
And Merry Christmas to you both.
Likewise.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
No one knows. We're shooting this December 23rd. So Johan and Upbeat and Steph all got together the day before Christmas Eve, but this is what we do. So
Hashtag no days off.
that's right. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Thank you.